Hey Isaac, you should make a video, man.
Do do ba 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 bow.
This one's in the bag.
Hello. So this is just going to be a simple video on mastery points in general in Guild Wars 2. I'm going to cover the simples of how to obtain them, the different ways you can do that. Also, what you can use them for. There's a couple of different venues in the game where you'll see rewards for having mastery points, or maybe there will be content that will be made accessible. And then lastly, what I think are some good mastery points to get. So let's go on and get into it. So the first method that you can use to get mastery points is through achievement rewards. And so there's a number of different types of achievements that you can complete. This might be something like completing a story mission. A lot of the different expansions have that. It can be completing a collection, so you get a number of different items and then you can do an achievement. Or it might be like a collection of achievements. So you do a bunch of achievements related to a world boss. And each one of these should have a singular mastery point as a reward, and overall they're not bad and it's a good quick way to get them. The other way to get mastery points will just be in the open world. This can be done a variety of ways, whether it's a fighting challenge, whether it's just like an insight node like the one that you're seeing me collect now, or maybe it's a riddle that you have to answer. But regardless, you'll be able to on your map to see once you've completed a zone or at least unlocked the area where it's done, you'll just see that little symbol on the map that I showed earlier, and that'll let you know that you can go to that point in the open world and complete some sort of action to get a mastery point. This is another great way to get mastery points, but it can be a little more tedious. So, what can you hope to receive from getting mastery points and spending them on different masteries? So this can be broken down into three broad categories. So we're going to start off with the least interesting one, just so we can get out of the way, which is crafting legendaries. There will be some specific trees in the Tyria mastery line that to unlock the vendor items to craft the legendaries, you just have to spend mastery points on them. And this is reflective of how mastery points were added. Mastery points were not in the original base game, and they were added after the fact to help extend the end game. As you can see with the way you acquired them, either with achievements or by doing something in the open world, it was really easy to bolt this on afterwards. And legendaries and crafting them are another common end game sync that people do, and so they kind of just combine them to make it more interesting, I guess. Another thing that you'll see that you can get from mastery points, or at least spending them on things, is passive benefits. So this can be anything from auto looting to getting more experience to speed buffs, things like this. You'll see this a lot in the different Living World seasons, where it'll be like, hey, get a mastery point and then spend it to get more rewards from doing things inside of the living season. This is another way where we can see them using mastery points to really extend the content of the game, simply by creating another venue to reward you more for doing the additional content that they're adding. And the last area that you'll really see rewards for mastery points will be in different open world content. And so these are going to be either different skills that you get, or it's just active things that you can do, and you'll see it when I go into some of the ones that you want. But this might be something when you're doing fractals. They have these nodes that give you benefits that you need to have the mastery talent to take advantage of that node, and so it's just super useful. And these will not be specific to specific expansions or living seasons, because for example in Icebrewed Saga there's a waypoint station that you can do, or I think I got that name wrong, it's something different, but you can use that outside of the living season map, and so you can see it in Central Tyria, Heart of Thorns, or whatever the second, Path of Fire, Path of Flame. Anyways, those are the different benefits that you can hope to receive from mastery points. So, there you are. You have your mastery points. You have a vague idea of what they are. Which ones should you get and why? So let's talk about that now. So, oh hey, look, here's my miniatures. I've got a cool pig, and then I've also got this. See, look, it's called Peg-a-Leg the Pirate. Anywho's, so down here is where you can access your masteries, and you can see your mastery rank. Well, I guess this information is important. I should have covered it before, but hey, it's here. So your mastery rank will show you what your mastery points are and how many you have, and they're broken off by the different sections because you can obtain 4 different types of mastery points currently. One's for Central Tyria, Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, and the Icebrood Saga. For example, any mastery points you get in Heart of Thorns won't be useful in other sections, which is why I have something like here for the Legendary Crafting, where I need 2 more mastery points, but even though I have 16 spare mastery points, I can't use them because they're for the wrong section. Hopefully that makes sense. Now let's talk about the 3 different ones that you'll want, or at least that I find useful. Legendary Crafting is not one of them, but I still love my crafting goods, so I'm not the person to talk to about crafting. So a really useful one will be the Fractal Attunement Path. Now you can see that the beginnings of it, they're not too expensive. You can rack up 4 to 6 mastery points pretty easy, and these are all just useful ones. Oh hey, a shrine, whatever, has been unlocked. But whatever these are, this will just help a lot when doing fractals. The first, because I believe you have unlocked additional daily achievements for fractal skills 21 through 49, so that's going to be what's referred to as your tier 2 fractals. So you just get extra rewards for doing them, which is how I've gotten most of the ascended armor for my shade, which is super useful. And then you also get extra rewards for defeat from bosses, which is also, it just helps you to get more from doing that. And then also your Mist Potions, which is the tier of Alba, also grants you an additional 5 agony resistance. And then look at this, you get even more bonus rewards. But what's most useful here is going to be the Mistlock Singularity, and that's the node that I was talking about earlier in the video. So what this is going to do is there's like this little bubble, and so it is both going to repair your armor, it's going to take all your skills off of cooldown, and it's also going to give you a revive, and it's going to give you, I think, 10 agony resistance. So that's a ton of helpful things that it grants, and all of them are useful. So as you're going through fractals and you wipe or something like that, they always have these Mistlock Singularities by the checkpoints, and so that's just insanely helpful as you're doing fractals. And of course, it doesn't take too many mastery points to get them. The other one is going to be the Pact Commander tree, or one of the other ones, though as we can see here, this gets more expensive, and this requires a lot more mastery points. So I would maybe, if you're doing fractals, I would recommend starting with the fractals and then doing the Pact Commander, though if you're not really doing fractals too much, you should start with the Pact Commander. So the first one here is a little inane because it gets you the Mentor badge. If you want a badge, there you go, it's cheap, it's easy. If not, then whatever, commander tags are cooler. You get Productive Downtime, which gives you a bonus to crafting experience, which is nice. I don't do crafting too much. Oh, is there a... hey, there's a cool dragon over there. I don't do crafting too much, but in the little crafting I have done, this has helped me to craft up much higher. You have Supply Line Management, which is, I find most helpful is you can just move 15% faster in cities, but then also there are packed supply people, which you can either buy things, but they have very basic goods, salvage chests, or salvage kits. There you go, kits is the word, salvage kits, and then also harvesting tools. So you can buy those, though mostly I just use them for selling things. You also get Nobilis Oblige, Nobilis Oblige, sure, that's what we'll say. Anyways, it just allows you to revive people faster, and then you also get some benefits. The speed of your revive is increased more with the level of the character being revived. So then, you know, if you're going and helping around people who are like new levels or something like that in group events, you get to revive them that much faster and you'd be surprised. And then my favorite one, Advanced Logistics, is a super fancy name for auto looting. You can turn it off, but it's just super great. And then it also takes your bonus up to 33% for swiftness in cities, but the auto looting is just insane, especially as you're doing other events. Now, finally, the other one that I'm going to recommend is going to be the It's a Lore path, and not even all of it. Just these 3 ones here are super helpful. The Bouncing Mushrooms, It's a Lore, and the Blazing Speed Mushrooms. The Speed Mushrooms and the Bouncing Mushrooms are used in other zones outside of Heart of Thorns. You'll even see them in all the living worlds after them. And so it's easy to get, it's 1 mastery point. It's worth just putting a spare mastery point into, and you'll get all the mastery points you need doing the introductory story missions for Heart of Thorns. And then the It's a Language, it unlocks some vendors who have some really cool stuff, and the armor for Heart of Thorns is super fun. But as you can see, I don't have the rest of these, and it hasn't really bothered me much at all. For the Path of Fire, each of the mounts have mastery paths, and I have unlocked these, but you really won't see much benefit to them outside of doing it, because some of the content in Path of Fire is soft lock using these. For example, the Jackal mount has sifting sands, where you can use sand portals, and they just have zones that require you to use the sand portal to get to. But if you're not doing the Path of Fire content, you're not going to see it. Then it's also not useful in content or traversal in any rest of the world. And that's really it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'm so glad that you stayed this long, and I hope that this is helpful and that this little dancing guy brings you joy.